Hello, my beautiful friends. It is me, Mr. Galloway. You may have forgotten about me, but I'm still here cranking out the hits. We are going to make some art today for our really fun Positively Pets week. We're going to be doing all kinds of pet projects all week. And today's project I thought would be amazing if we made something that Mr. Galloway always wanted to make when he was a little kid, because this is something I tried to make and it didn't work out. So I thought I would try to show you a cool way to do it. We're going to be making a maze. When Mr. Galloway was a kid, I had a pet rat, and I always wanted to make a little labyrinth for my rat to go through so that I could pretend I was a scientist experimenting on him. But however, Mr. Galloway used a saw, and I still have the scar if you look very carefully right there. See that? Oh my god. But I used a saw on wood and accidentally cut into my finger. So do not try that at home, kids. But we are going to do a little bit of a safer project today. And instead of using a saw and wood, we're going to use a cereal box. Focus, my friend. Focus. We're going to be using a cereal box and scissors. So the first thing you need to gather is you need to find a cereal box. If you don't have one, you could use other kinds of rectangular boxes like cracker boxes or snacky boxes or that sort of thing. But it needs to be kind of a rectangle, and it is best if, like a cereal box, it's this really thin cardboard. If you have like an Amazon box or something with that thicker cardboard, it's going to be much harder to cut. So this is going to be better, okay? And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your box, and we're going to use our scissors, and we're going to use all those safe scissor cutting techniques we've talked about in class, and you're going to try to cut out the top rectangle of this box. It's okay if it's not perfect. If you look, I'm kind of following the side. I'm going to turn my box. You could get a parent to help you with this if you are finding you're having a hard time with it. So parents, this is your chance to step in and be an excellent art assistant. Okay, so I got that, and then I'm going to cut up this way. So if you look, now I've got one flat rectangle and then this almost box. Okay, so that's the beginning of my hamster maze. Alright guys, next we are going to assemble the bottom part of our labyrinth, of our maze. And to do that, basically you want to return this box the way it was before you ripped open the top to get all that foody, snacky, yummy goodness out. So we want to kind of have these flaps back down, and we want to attach that to it there. You have a couple options for that. So you're going to either need some sort of tape, or some kind of glue, or maybe a glue stick. If you have any of that, it'll work. If you have tape, I would just kind of hold this and attach right there to kind of secure it in place, or we could just use a glue stick. I used a glue bottle a minute ago, and I kind of made a mistake, but maybe I'll show that in a second. But we'll put a little glue here, and we'll put a little glue here. See my little glues? Right there and right there. And I'm just gonna kind of pinch them in place like that. And that should start to hold. Okay. Or, you know, if you did have tape and glue, you could glue it like I just did. And then we could get a small little piece of tape. Oh yeah. Like that. And I can secure my sides, and that'll hold it in place while the tape dries. But I have returned my box to its original position, and I have the bottom of my little labyrinth ready to go. Now we are going to make the walls of our maze with this piece of cardboard, but you might want to kind of plan out a little bit first. So you could, on a piece of paper, draw out some map ideas, some maze ideas. So to do that, basically you're going to have a rectangle and you're going to fill it with long lines and short lines to make your maze. So maybe if you had a starting point and there's a long line here and there's a long line here, maybe that goes there, maybe this comes up and they have to make a choice. You can kind of plan out your little maze like that. Or you can just wing it like Mr. Galloway is going to do. Either way is fine. But I want to cut some long walls, so I'm going to kind of cut some long rectangles. If you planned it out, then I would count your short ones and count your long ones and see what you need. But maybe I'll cut a long one and a long one. And I could have a couple of short ones. There's a short one. There's a short one. Ooh, I can make 2 medium ones out of this. Kind of like that. I can even use this. This is perfect, actually, with those little things. I could use this. I'm going to cut this in half and have 2 more medium ones. So I've got a bunch of little walls, okay? And you can kind of imagine inside your maze where they're going to go. Maybe this one would start like that. Maybe you have some little ones on the side. Maybe you kind of divide it in weird ways. I like the straights, it's going to be much easier. But what we're going to do, let me show you this real quick. This is how we're going to attach walls, okay? You watching? I hope. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut just little pieces. See how I cut that little slit? Little slit, little slit, little slit, like that. And they're all about the same size, see? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them, but I'm going to do a pattern. I'm going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. So let's watch. I'm going to turn and fold this one like this. See, I folded it that way. So this one went left. The next one I'm going to fold the opposite direction. Right. See? Where does this one go? Left. That's right. I'm going to go the opposite way. Left, right, left, right. You see what I'm doing? Can you figure this out? Left, right. It's almost like an A-B pattern or like an accordion fold. You're zigzagging, but I'm going left, right, so that I have this. And this is going to be the part I glued down on my thing. So I could put a little thing of glue on each one of these. I could use tape and tape it down if I need to. I could use a glue stick. That's what Mr. Galloway is going to do. But I'm going to take my glue and put it on these little flat parts that we just made all the way across. Okay, put a little, put a little, put a little. And this is going to allow us to stick this down inside our maze. Now if you look at this, this one is the exact same size as the box, which doesn't really work, but that's where this comes in. Watch, this is cool. I can take this and I can fold it to make a little twisty part. So I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to take my fingers and push down on all my little flaps to keep that in place. Okay? And look, whoa, well, I needed a little more glue. I needed to give it a second. Don't get too impatient like Mr. Galloway. We'll hold it down for a second. And if you'd like to, you could use tape as well. Like I said, you can get little pieces. And put one on each little thing to kind of hold it in place while the glue dries. So I put one on that little tab, put one on this little tab, put one on this little tab, put one on this little tab. That'll help hold it in place. And if you look, now I've got the beginnings of my labyrinth wall. Oh man. So I'm going to quickly do some more the same way. I've got short ones, I've got long ones. I can kind of put them in my maze any way I want. All right, so we've got our little labyrinth, our maze. Now for the most fun part of all. You get to test run it. If you have a tiny little mouse, you could put, no, I'm just kidding. What we're gonna do is you need to find some kind of thing. Like, I think a little bouncy ball is perfect for this. If you have a little bouncy ball, you could put it in there. If you don't have a little bouncy ball, you could use like a small little toy, but it probably won't roll as well or move as well. But see, with the bouncy ball, you can kind of pretend it's your little mouse or rat and try to make it all the way through your maze. If you want to paint your maze, if you want to put little traps, you could have like little holes they could fall through you have to avoid. There's all sorts of fun things you could do with this to make it a really neat little toy. And as you imagine your little pet testing it for humanity's sake, what great discovery is this rat gonna help us find? Only time will tell. I hope you had fun, guys, making our little rat labyrinth or hamster maze or whatever. I guess most people have hamsters. Mr. Galloway loves a pet rat, but hamsters are cool too. But whichever way you want to run with it, I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful week at home, working hard and learning and creating, and our Positively Pets Week shall continue tomorrow.